I stood in the hall thinking that I could have been there, and then told myself to shut up. I couldn't have been there and must not have such fake regrets again. That is a small quote from the book An Unfinished Woman, a memoir by Lillian Hellman. Lillian Hellman was she wrote plays in a time when women weren't really known to write plays. And she was born in New Orleans and split her time between New Orleans and New York because of her dad's job. And when she was younger and her father punished her in front of their house, in front of the rest of the tenants in their apartment building, she ran away, saying that she didn't want to go back because her father humiliated her, and she cared very much for her black nanny, whose name was Sophronia, and she was only told that Sophronia had died about two years after the fact, I think. And so, you know, judging from that from the beginning, you can already see she had a strong character. She was also an only child, and her mom had a hard time giving birth. So after her first child, she didn't want to have any more children. And she's also part Jewish, which is interesting because when she studied in, I'm not sure if it was, she studied in Germany or one of a country in Europe, she ended up in some student activist. She was drawn in by some student activists who handed her a Nazi pamphlet and asked her to join. And she went back home to the States the next day. So she was also known as a political activist and a wit. She was very witty, and I really admire her quotes. When she was asked, "What are you made of?" she told her boss that she was there is a quote. Oh yeah, she told her she was asked, "What are you made of, Lily?" And she was quick to retort, "Pickling spice and nothing nice." And that was just like, I just really enjoyed the way she would respond to life. And also how she chose to deal with some certain things, like for instance, how she would she really liked Fitzgerald, but I don't really think she liked Hemingway, because there was an occasion where he lent her a manuscript, and so she read it, and she was about to go to sleep and she forgot he was there until she handed him the manuscript back, and she was saying, she said it's good but it's missing some parts, and then he expected her to praise him, but instead he turned to leave, and then as he was leaving he said, where is that quote? He said, "I wish I could sleep with you, but I can't because there's somebody else. I hope you understand." He smiled at me, patted my head, and went down the elevator, and I was so surprised that I stood in the hall until it was too late to run down the steps and say what? So she went to her friend Dorothy Parker, and Dorothy Parker explained to her that when it comes to Hemingway, everything he does is the best and every new work is the greatest, but that doesn't make sense since the last one was supposedly the greatest. And she was also the life partner of Dashiell Hammett, both of whom had been married previously, and then for some reason they stuck together for like 35 years and they didn't get married, but it didn't really matter because they were still very much in love with each other. And I like how she had some quotes here on when like Hammett did have a bit too much to drink, and then he would end up, I don't know what, but he would end up sort of saying mean things about Hemingway. Like this one part where he was drunk and he said like, "Hemingway doesn't know how to write women, he only writes them to praise him." And I think I might agree with that, because I remember reading A Movable Feast and how he talked about a woman in the book. So I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty much accurate. And then another time when Hemingway was drunk, or like he drank a lot, and then he was trying to bend a spoon with his bicep, and then he was trying to make Hammett do it, and then Hammett was just like, "Why don't you just go back to bullying Fitzgerald?" And I was like, ah, oh my gosh, that is so fun. All I really can do is quote from this book, because it speaks for itself in a way that I don't have to explain, because she's just very witty, and I keep saying that, but really she is. And I just really enjoyed this. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it, but I did. And I bought this like 2 years ago, and yeah, I should have read it sooner. That's all I really can say. So in terms of recommendations, I recommend this highly. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sticking around. Sorry it was just all quotes and like rambles, but like you guys, like I like this book. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!